Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are discussing the biochemistry of proteins, and under this we are learning the classification. In this classification we are basically discuss the types of protein on the basis of hydrolysis and their physical properties. On this basis we have three types: simple, conjugated and derived. What are simple proteins? Simple proteins are those which on hydrolysis is only amino acids. They only contain amino acids. What are conjugated proteins? These are those proteins which contains an additional group along with the amino acids, and on hydrolysis another group which is called as prostatic group will be produced. Third class is the derived proteins. What are derived proteins? They are those proteins that are formed by the certain types of reactions or any physical factors or chemical factors. These types of proteins are derived. They are not naturally present. Now we will discuss in detail simple proteins. So simple proteins, that are those proteins that contains amino acids only. These are further classified on the basis of their solubilities and the coagulations by heat. Their properties also depend upon their size, their shape. Several subclasses are there. These are as follow. The first class is the protamines. Protamines are the small molecules. They are soluble in water, dilute acids and alkalis, and they are also soluble in the dilute ammonia. By heat they are non-coagulable. Coagulation नहीं करते, coagulate नहीं होती ये proteins. As far as structure is concerned, they do not contain cysteine, tryptophan and tyrosine. ये तीन important हमारे पास जो amino acids हैं इसमें present नहीं होते, and protamines mainly contain arginine. Isoelectric pH is found around 7.4, and basically they are basic proteins. They will combine with nucleic acid. They will form nucleoproteins like Salmine, sardinine. They are also present in other living organisms. That is, they are present in the fish. Next is histones. They are also basic proteins. They are rich in arginine and histidine. Protamines only contain arginine, while histones contain arginine and histidine with an alkaline isoelectric pH. Again, they are soluble in water, dilute acids and salts, but it is insoluble in ammonia, and it is not readily coagulate on heating. Same है जैसे protamines है वो भी coagulate नहीं होती heating से, इसी तरह histones भी coagulate नहीं होती हीटिंग पे. और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हमारे पास ये प्रोटीन्स हैं, बहुत स्मॉल पेप्टाइड्स हैं इसमें, क्योंकि दे आर प्रेजेंट, दे फॉर्म कॉन्जुगेटेड प्रोटीन्स विद न्यूक्लिक एसिड एंड कोफाइब्रिन्स, एंड यू नो दैट what are their functions. They act as repressor of template acting of DNA in the synthesis of the RNA. Repressor protein के तौर पे ये पार्ट करते हैं. They are also a part of hemoglobin. Globulin is an atypical histone having a predominance of the histidine lysine instead of arginine. Means कि अगर ये hemoglobin में present होगा तो it is present in the form of globin. What is the changes? What are the changes? The changes are that they contain histidine and lysine instead of arginine. What are examples? Nucleohistones, chromosomal nucleoproteins and globin of hemoglobin. Another type, very important proteins, albumins. These are very water soluble proteins that is soluble in water as well as in dilute salt solutions, but the problem is that they can be coagulated by the heat and their products are insoluble in water and solution. जो भी coagulation के बाद products बन रहे हैं, now these are insoluble in water. These albumins can be sorted out by changing the saturation of the protein with ammonium sulfate. हमने ये प्रोसेस पढ़ा था कि सॉल्टेशन की जाती है, सॉल्ट इन किया जाता है या सॉल्टेड आउट किया जाता है. Albumin have a low isoelectric pH, that is the 4.7, and mainly they are acidic proteins at pH 7.4, which is the pH of blood. They are deficient in glycine in plant as well as in animal, in legumes, in cereals, in milk, in albumin. In several products it is present. Fourth type is the globulins. They are insoluble in water, but they are soluble in dilute neutral salt solutions. They are also heat coagulable. Vegetable globulins are also there that coagulate. They are also precipitated by sorted out by the half saturation with ammonium sulfate or by full saturation with sodium chloride. Globulins mainly bind with heme, forming the hemopexin with metals. Globulins mainly bind with heme. जब ये heme से bind करेगा तो hemopexin बनाएगा, और if it is bind with metals, it will form transferrin. For example, iron के साथ ही bind कर सकता है. Seroplasmin and with carbohydrates can also be bind, and it can also a part of the immunoglobulins. What are the examples? Same हमारे पास इन examples के अलावा it is present in egg, ovoglobulin, lactoglobulin in milk, and legumin in the legumes. Then we have Gliadins. They are all alcohol soluble plant proteins and insoluble in water. जैसे जैसे हम proteins की types आगे पढ़ रहे हैं, उनकी solubility decrease हो रही है water में. So they are insoluble in water as well as salt solution. They are only soluble in alcohol. Mainly 50 to 80% जो है वो ethanol में dissolve हो सकते हैं. Absolute अगर अल्कोहल होगा 100% अल्कोहल, उसमें भी ये इनसॉल्युबल होंगे. दे आर वेरी रिच इन प्रोलीन बट पुअरली कंटेन लाइसिन. एग्जांपल है व्हीट में, बार्ले में इट इज प्रेजेंट ग्लाइडियंस, आल्सो कॉल्ड एज प्रोलामीन्स, ग्लूटेलिन्स. दीज आर द प्लांट प्रोटीन्स insoluble in water or neutral solution, but they are soluble in dilute acid and alkali, very rich in glutamic acid. They are the larger molecules and they can be coagulated by the heat. It is present in the wheat, origin of rice, and gluten of the wheat. Another types of protein is a fibrous protein, which is called as the Scleroproteins or Albuminoids. Means ये fibrous भी है और simple proteins भी है. So these are those fibrous proteins which have a great stability and very low solubility. They are for the supporting purpose. They are found in the keratins, collagen, and elastins, Scleroproteins or Albuminoids. Then they are further classified on the basis of types. For example, keratins. These are the characteristic constituent of the chymodermal tissue such as horn, hair, nail, wood, wool, hoofs, and feathers. All hard keratins on hydrolysis yield a part of the amino acid histidine, lysine, and arginine in the ratio of 1:4:12. ठीक है, ये तीन amino acids histidine, lysine, and arginine भी present होते हैं इसमें. The soft or pseudokeratins are also there, in which they are mostly present in the outer layer of the skin. The ratio is somewhat different. In neurokeratin, the ratio is about 1:2:2. Even it is also present in the hair, while hair keratin contains high content of the cysteine. And the hair keratin can be alpha keratin. Beta keratins are those keratins which are deficient in cysteine and they are rich in glycine and alanine. तीन है ना हमारे पास. So beta alpha keratins are those which contains high amount of cysteine, or if cysteine is deficient, they will consider as the beta keratin. They are present in various type of tissues. They are present in spider web, silk, and reptilian scales. Externally भी keratin treatment आपने बहुत commonly सुना होगा. Keratin hair treatment आप पता है कि वो किया जाता है. Collagen, it is a protein that is for the connective tissue and bone. It is a long, thin, partially crystalline substance, insoluble in all solvents almost. It is a converted tough, hard substance which is formed by the tannic acid. This is the basic process of the tanning. यानी जब एनिमल से हम आइसोलेट करते हैं कोई चीज तो उसकी टैनिंग की जाती है और उसके बाद ये मजीद एक टफ सब्सटेंस में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं. Furthermore, collagen can easily be converted on the gelatin by boiling, by splitting of some amino acids, and gelatin is highly soluble and easily digestible. जिसे हम कहते हैं ना पाए पकने तो उसमें से वो gelatin निकल आता है. It forms a gel on cooling and it is provided a diet for invalid and convalescent. It is not a complete protein and it lacks tryptophan, which is an essential amino acid. Then we have elastins. These are those proteins that are present in yellow elastic fiber of the connective tissue, ligaments, and tendons. They are rich in non-polar amino acids like alanine, leucine, valine, and proline, and they do not contain cysteine, methionine, 5-hydroxylysine, and histidine. Mainly, they are formed in large amount in uterus during the pregnancy. Elastins are hydrolyzed by pancreatic enzyme elastase. This is the summary of simple proteins, that is albumin, globulin, globin, prolamines, histones, protamines, and albuminoids. Albumin water soluble, globin water insoluble, globin rich in histidine, prolamines. They are soluble only in alcohol, 70 to 80% alcohol, insoluble in water. Histones, basic proteins, they are also soluble in water. Protamines like histone, they are soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Albuminoids, they are also scleroprotein, collagen, elastin, and keratin.